to Razzmatazz with Rashi. And today we have with us Daisy Bala. She's an author, a blogger, a poet. She writes in Hindi and English. And recently she has come up with a book that is based on a family drama. So let's welcome Daisy and get to know more about her in this episode. Welcome, Daisy.
Hi, Rashi. Thank you so much for inviting. I'm good. Thank you so much. And I'm very honored to be a part of this.
I'm honored that you finally came to this show.
Yeah, the feelings are mutual and having a razzmatazz with you here.
So Daisy, tell your audience something about yourself, what you do and what all the amazing things you're doing in your life.
I'm a author and blogger and poetess, if I may call myself so, based in Chicago, and I love writing, and I've written 2 books, and I'm also maintaining a blog on WordPress, and all my feelings and emotions, they come out either through poetry or short stories, and as I like to call it, serenading words with embellishment of thoughts and emotions.
Nice.
And that is how I portray myself, and poetry is my tourniquet. Like it helps me stop my bleeding pain or bleeding emotions, and I'm able to ink them on paper. So that is how I would describe myself, writing about everything and anything under the sun.
Nice. So tell us about the books. Like you have written 2 books till now, right?
Yeah, my first poetry book was Blossoms and Foliages, and it was also published through Blog Chatter first, and then I self-published it on Amazon Kindle. And that is a collection of 51 poems, mostly nature poems, condensed thoughts, dripping with nature's vivaciousness. And my muse and contemplations as I took my nature walks or I sat in my patio thinking about a lot of varied thoughts in different hues. And my second book has again come through Blog Chatter, and then it is now published by Kyoto Publishers, and it is available on Amazon and on Google, and it's also available in stores, Barnes and Nobles in US, ready to be ordered and shipped. It's also on the Kyoto website, on India Kyoto website as well.
Okay.
And this book is a novella, a small story, contemporary fiction.
Okay.
And it's about this is actually a combination of fiction as well as
personal experience.
Personal experience, the childhood days that I have spent at my grands in Patna.
Okay.
So a lot of characters in the book have actually walked out of real life, and I have portrayed them in the book. So yeah, it's a concoction of fiction and non-fiction, but yeah, it's derived from my childhood days.
Nice, nice. So how did you come up with this idea of writing this family drama or this fiction?
I've been very fond of my childhood days that I've spent with my cousins and grands in Patna, and I've always been wanting to ink them, and I never got an opportunity. So when Blog Chatter is giving that opportunity every year to come out with one of your own creations as an ebook, then I just wanted to grab it. So it's like wanting to have the cake and eat it too. So I just went ahead and put all my experiences and just published it. And I've dedicated it to my mom because she's a very integral part of my memories, my life, and my creations. So my book goes out to her, and it's very special to me and will always stay like that.
How nice to know that. So when did you start writing, Daisy? Like, did you start as a hobby or you started with your blog?
Yeah, it started as a hobby. I think I wrote on September 18, 2014, I wrote my first blog. So it was very, very long time back. But I've been not writing actively after that. Intermittently, I was writing my blogs on WordPress. But it was only in 2020 when I came in touch with Blog Chatter that I came to know about the Indian blogging circuit. And I started participating in writing competitions, and I got introduced to Hindi writing as well, and started writing poetry in Hindi also.
Right.
So I published a lot of blogs, but it was not very actively. I was not pursuing
Yeah.
anything. But in the last 1 year, I have become really active.
Getting in touch with the similar, community, that really that makes a lot of difference.
Makes a lot
that
of
also helps. You get in touch with people
helps.
who are also like-minded people, I would say.
Like-minded
And everybody
people.
is supporting each other. It's nice.
Yes, and I found mentors, and I found people who introduced me to a lot of writing groups. And there I started participating in competitions, and it was like a polishing activity for my writing skills. So, and in the process, I won something, and I started winning virtual certificates, some trophies, got to participate in some blog talks, got my stories and poems published in anthologies.
Yeah.
Working with great brands now. So yeah, it has definitely given me a big exposure and a way to lead my life forward.
So would you like to read a few lines from your book or your poem, whatever you want?
Yeah, sure. I would first like to read, what does poetry mean to me?
Okay.
So what does poetry mean to you? I was bleeding in emotions and passions. They erupted in erotic hallucinations. I would crib and crumble, turn pale and feeble. I shuffled in grey assorted sentiments, in anguish and sunlight, in my heart and in my mind. Then I decided to ink my vulnerabilities. I conjured up my fleeting thoughts and wrote the lyrical chords on the incandescent parchments. It acted as tourniquet. I'm relieved now. Poetry is my tourniquet. I bind everything in verses, in free flow or a style. It may or may not convey anything to you, but it's my savior. It's my commitment to stay sane. It's my ruminating murmurings, bind by words, gibberish or otherwise. I write, and it's my outlet, my outlook, my inside, my hideout, my cove, my palpitations, my musings, my contemplation. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And what is your this fiction about, the story that you wrote on Patna?
So I can just first read an introduction, what the book is all about.
Yeah.
Meet Dr. Sahib and the distinctive family members of Geeta Sadan from the new modern small town of Patna, an upper middle class nuclear family with incessant pertinent middle class issues. The eldest grown up daughter who stays secluded, unmarried, the second daughter who's guileless, eager to marry, and the youngest daughter who's too boisterous to marry and settle down. A son who's the youngest and too busy cracking jokes, and a mother who's straight out of an Indian daily soap, struggling with the side effects of menopause and the pressure of marrying off 3 daughters.
Oh.
This clan will tug your heartstrings with emotions of love, laughter, sorrows, and joy. So come and meet them today at Patna 8,20,000 as a gripping family drama unfolds.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
So I'll just tell the audience that we'll be sharing all the links to her books and her blog. So give it a read. She is a fantastic, she writes very wonderful poem. And this fiction is, just like the reading that she has done now. It sounds so interesting. So we would really want to grab that book from her.
Sure. Thank you so much, Shashi, for your kind words.
So Daisy, what, yeah, continue. You wanted to read that?
Oh, should I read chapter 1?
Yes, please.
So it is a little long, like 3 pages. So if you want me to read halfway, I can just stop halfway.
As much as you want, yeah.
Sure. India, 2021. Amidst the new modern small town Hullabaloo, Patna remained modest and virgin, incandescent and minimalistic at heart. Dozing off in simplicity and rising early in candor, today this historic city geared for another eventful morning. Early daybreak refulgence painted the sky with tangerine hues, and the crisp hydrating warps promised a gleeful day. Ganga Ghats buzzed with the usual humdrum. Gandhi Maidan churned greenery and zeal for religious walkers. The dhabas in Kadam Kuan diffused grey charcoal smoke, setting the rustic mood for the day. And the euphonic mandir gongs, chants, they offered unsolicited positivity in plenty. The roadside garbage dumps were just starting to linger in the heat, and the humped bull was too lazy to move his butt from the Chauraha, even as the traffic started to thicken. As the sun set forth on his usual trajectory for the day and the mid-morning chaos gripped the city, usual business kicked off in the friendly neighborhood of Patharwala Galia. In the small crowded clinic, sitting in the backdrop against old homeopathic books and materia medica, stacks of homeopathic medicines and delivery boxes, Dr. Sahib's patron patients waited for their detailed diagnosis and cure. They wouldn't buzz unless they've been called inside the small room to be seen and checked thoroughly. Dr. Sahib wrote in his ingenious handwriting, prescribing medicines in code words that only his chemist could decipher. That way, Dr. Sahib managed to keep his patients' patronage intact and his doctory running with aplomb. Always a big queue of patients waited outside the clinic come home, reminiscing everyone how effective was his practice and how famous was his brand. Meet Dr. Bimal Prasad from Patharwala Gali, Kankad Bagh, Patna 8,20,000, whose medicines have cured everyone from hemorrhoids to gallbladder stones. A Kayastha by caste, a philosopher and philanthropist by nature and character, he had been running the clinic successfully since last 30 years, the biggest advertising being the word of mouth praise. People say he had received this skill through his elite pedigree, where his forefathers also practiced homeopathy from the same premises. Though prospering, Dr. Sahib had hardly invested in his clinic or staff. The shabby look of the light green confounded walls and limited clinic space. 1 minute.
Sounds really interesting, huh, Daisy?
Yeah, sorry for the interruption. Yeah, I'm back.
No problem.
The shabby look of the light green confounded walls and limited clinic space spoke volume about his reluctance to expand his practice. Nobody except his trusted old compounder, come assistant, come pharmacist, chemist, Anuj, worked diligently for him without expecting a raise, a bonus, or a holiday ever. Today, Dr. Sahib had opened his clinic for a limited 2 hours in the morning owing to the auspicious eve of Raksha Bandhan, and the festivities were waiting to be churned out. Upstairs, kitchen was abuzz with variety cooking, and the house Geeta Sadan was bubbling with chatters and laughters. Puri, kachori, bhunjia, kheer, everything lavish was simmering on the gas stove while Kanchan was rolling out more puris from the dough. And Chutki was preparing the Amla Rita Shikakai potion for a detailed hair treatment and humming the Rakhi Bollywood songs on the old retro radio. Barkha Devi was maneuvering the mixie, making ginger garlic paste for the gravy. Her culinary delights were famous in the whole family, and her daughters had a lot of pressure to meet the set expectations. As the last cooker whistled its trumpet, the lingering smell of hing traversed through the whole house. Is the breakfast ready? Ladkan sab taiyar hua ki nahi? Are the kids ready or not? Entered Dr. Sahib, blaring in a hunger pang. He had returned from the clinic, taking a short breakfast break to satiate his stomach. Anuj would usually take over in these short breaks so that the clinic could keep running at its usual pace. He would make prescriptions and prepare medicine packets as Dr. Sahib had prescribed. Indeed it is. Has it ever been delayed? Inquired Barkha Devi, setting up the brass plates and bowls. They were an ensemble from old Harappan civilizations discovered during an expedition. She loaded the bowl with aloo gravy, positioned khasta kachori in the middle, and a small petite bowl of kheer in a handsome presentation, and carried the plate for her sahib, waiting at the dining table. Everyone is getting ready. You close your clinic for the day and come, she suggested. A family of 6 members was primarily run by the handsome earnings in the homeopathic practice, while Barkha Devi supported through her petite salary as a Hindi school teacher in Balika Vidyalaya on the road number 4 of Kankad Bagh, where she was working earnestly since 1994 without a raise or an expected promotion. Although prudent and sane, she had become a little irritable owing to menopausal side effects and her declining patience. The vagaries of life and the anxiety of marrying off 3 youthful daughters soon had given her premature grey hair and a sluggish, wrinkled look. Her cotton sari in Seedha Pallu and pleated hair with orange sindoor was her signature dressing style. The thick vermilion was like a pagdandi, dividing her parted oiled hair into 2 clean parts. Nobody had ever seen her in a shabby hairstyle or scruffy dressing, even at odd hours in the house. She was running the household in astute balance and yet saving a bomb for her 3 benevolent daughters and their competent future. Raja Bhaiya, aka Golu, was bathing and getting ready for the important occasion today. All the 3 sisters were going to tie Rakhi to him, and this was the only day of the year when he got full attention and all ears for his crazy PJs, read poor jokes, roly-poly and plump. Golu would hog onto sweets and puris and watch cartoons whole day on such holidays. Mummy, give me extra puris today and D wala bhunjia. Bhunjia cut in D shapes, Golu demanded in pampered gesturing. Being the only son in the household, he was just expected to be around, doing nothing. Dr. Saheb was getting confident day by day that his pedigree was endangered now as Golu was rising to be the unfit heir to the Geeta Sadan throne. Soon the festivities began. Meeta Didi and Dantawale Dadaji from the neighborhood had also come to tie Rakhi to Dr. Saheb. Meeta Didi was his Muboli Behen who often visited the household. In her sleeveless blouse and red tainted lips from chewing pan, she was a prominent figure to be reckoned with, especially on celebrations. Meeta Didi and Barkha Devi gelled well together through their gregarious, high-pitched conversations and repeated discussions on stale topics, ranging from kitchen politics to state politics, usually ending with requests for alliance searches. Dantawale Dadaji's origin and relation was unknown. He had been in the neighborhood since time immemorial. He was always welcomed in the house with warm love and gestures. Badki Di, Kanchan, Chutki, all splendid in their kurta churidars, tied their love and blessings upon Golu, who seemed to enjoy all the attention thrown towards him. After the mithai ceremony, Golu was ready with his PJ. Hathi proposed to Cheeti, but she refused. Why? Everyone stayed silent. Buck, ye bahut chaat hai. Oh no, this is ridiculously boring, everyone reprimanded. Golu still continued. Because Hathi's front 2 teeth were outside. Golu burst out laughing. Everyone stayed silent in fury.
Oh, wonderful, Daisy. You've written really nicely.
Thank you.
Now I want to read more about the book.
Sure, please grab it.
Yes, I will.
I'm looking for people to read it and
Definitely.
leave beautiful reviews. It's a very small 53 pages, light breezy read, which you can read after dinner or in the weekends or even when you are traveling long distances in the car. Yeah, sure. I'm looking for beautiful reviews and
yes, I'm sure people will buy your book because it sounds so interesting, and we'll get to know more about the family and based out in Patna, and I want to eat the khasta kachori now.
Yeah, all the delicacies is making us hungry. So this was chapter 1, and there are 10 chapters in the book.
Okay, good, nice. So where do you get the inspiration, to write your poetry or this fiction? What inspires you?
Yeah, like I read that poetry is my tourniquet. So whatever my emotions and feelings, they come out through writing, and especially these verses. And poetry comes naturally to me. And so I think the motivation and the inspiration I derive from my mom. And now that she's not there, she's still encouraging me to write, and
definitely.
I have channelized my pain through these writings, and I dedicate everything to her. So, yeah,
I'm sure she's always with you.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah.
So something instigates me to write, and I will just continue to write all my life as long as I stay sane.
So you're more passionate about writing poetry, right?
I'm sorry, what?
You're more passionate about writing poetry.
Yeah, I'm more passionate about writing poetry, but now I'm also diverging into writing stories. And like I wrote this novella, and I want to come up with more novellas, or into. I want to also channelize, move towards Hindi poetry writing, because my mom was very fond of Hindi poetry. So I also want to publish a book on Hindi poetry. Maybe it will come next year.
Sure. All the best for
The
that.
A to Z was, thank you.
Yeah.
A to Z was Hindi poetries only. So I could not write all the 26 posts because my mom fell ill, but I think I had written till 21 or 22. So they were all Hindi poetries.
Okay. So so you can come out with a collection. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I want to compile that into a collection and add more variety and make it more enriched with more quality poems. Yeah.
True. So like apart from writing and you're like poetry and fiction, what is one thing that you really love to do? Something that you're passionate about?
I like doing a lot of things. I like cooking, and I like doing makeup, and I like traveling to places, and I like reading books, and I like playing with my little ones.
Yeah.
So these are all detoxifying methods that they refurbish me, you can say.
Good. You're passionate about a lot of things.
Yeah.
Okay, so now tell me, we'll end this episode with one fun question for you. So like if you have to spend one day with your favorite blogger or writer, who would that be and what would you do?
I would like to spend the day with Sonia Dogra. She's an erudite poetess and writer, and I follow her on her blog and on Facebook as well. And she's encouraged me and inspired me when I had just joined the Indian blogging circuit, and she made me join a lot of writing groups.
Okay.
And even in my book, she has left a beautiful review, and that is in the back cover of my book also. Printed there, so she will remain special to me. And I would like to go to the mountains with her, because she's also a mountain girl. So I would like to be in the foothills with her and just roam around on those curvaceous paths and feel the mountain breeze and the beautiful jungle aromas and the melodies of the night jungle. Yeah, just be in her erudite company and learn and enjoy. And
True. I'm sure Sonia must be watching this video and she'll be so happy to listen to all what you're saying now.
Yeah, Sonia will remain special. So thank you, Sonia, for everything.
Thank you so much, Daisy. Thank you that you took out time and came here and you shared your poetry and your books with us. I'm really so happy to have you here.
Completely my pleasure. And even you are special to me. Because my first interview was also with you last year, and and you're a multi-talented girl. So my best wishes to you as well. Keep shining, and keep inspiring us to do good things, just like you're
getting inspired by you, Daisy. Now
we're all together in this, and it's a mutual admiration society.
True, definitely.
Best wishes to all of us.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rashi. Have a good day. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.